Yeah. Well. What's really good, motherfuckers? You already know what's going on. Yo, man, Chris. AKA Apocalypse. Judiciously, effectively, massively, and matrimonially still represent the squad when it comes to Out of Bounds Live. Y'all know who the fans, you motherfuckers as far as sports, love to hate. You know, and a good portion of you non-sports fans. Not only do a lot of y'all love to hate us, you talk about those like-minded, you know what I'm saying, the world's dopest guard. 6'9". To those like the petty kings, you know what I'm saying? You know, y'all don't just, we just not the sports fans. A lot of you motherfuckers hate. Some of y'all, we just the people y'all love to hate. Oh yeah, we cool with that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody good. Especially these little late round storms been swooping in the last hour or so. You know. But still, hope everybody's doing good. Y'all know, particularly when it comes to sports and relative issues. Going off on a solo flight, yet and still, y'all know I got a couple things for real. So love the hated motherfuckers, here it comes, you know what I'm saying? So, like more times than not, first and foremost, come to sports related issues. Gotta start with the gang. And the roller coaster they done put Cards Nation on when it comes to the College Baseball World Series. So, let me get this straight. Literally 24 hours after Andy and myself, you know what I'm saying, securing our union. Okay, that was Monday. Fast forward to literally 24 hours. Okay. Get up from a nap, I'm milling around, and totally forgot about the game by just the grace of God and a little luck from channel surfing. Boom. I find the Cards rematch, but they took their first loss against Oregon State, which puts them in the loser's bracket, hence the double elimination format as far as the College Baseball World Series. All right. So here's the rematch. Shit. Cards up 5-3. I think it's like fourth, fifth inning. They out on the run. Okay. 6-3. By this time, my now wife ante is up. She's not necessarily the biggest baseball fan of the sport per se. Pro, college, don't matter. Doesn't really interest her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's the Cards. No sooner she gets up, it starts. And I had to tease her back, you know what I'm saying? Because she knows all about, no matter what the sport is, man, U of L is in cardiac cards mode. Pick your sport. It just doesn't matter. No sooner she gets up, 6-4. The league gets cut to 5. It's cut to 6. No, 6-3. They were up 6-3. I'm sorry. They had a run. The league's cut to 6-4. Long story short, y'all know the Cards gave it up. We got a 6-6 game going into the night. Luckily, the Cards bat last, so to be able to still get those outs, all right, and to start the 9th inning, bases loaded with no out. And he's like, shit, just a regular hit, a single, get that run in. I said, baby, you don't even have to be a hit. Explain to her, you know, a deep enough drive and the sacrifice fly rule in baseball, you know. Space is loaded. No out. No, I think I don't think it was no out. And who delivers it? That dude that has been delivering for the Cards for the baseball team all year. My man Eddie King, you know what I'm saying? EKJ getting it done. Happened. "24 hours after that, hence today, matchup with Coastal Carolina. I knew nothing about them. Did a little homework. I already knew they couldn't suck. They're in contention. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the College World Series. Did a little more homework. Whoa. I'm gonna spur y'all to gory details of tickets since I know a lot of y'all ain't baseball fans. Anyway, the point of the matter is I knew it would be a tough matchup. They come on a back-to-back game. Fine. 11-3. That. That's the effort that the Cardinal baseball team produced today. Lose one thing. You lose 11-3. You know, and falling into the trap of having to point out the obvious. We're talking about an 11-3 loss in any baseball game. All right. Gave up a shitload of runs and hits. You didn't produce a whole lot of runs and hits. Okay. There was a lack of defense, obviously, because yes, as far as hits and runs, the pitchers, they get tagged with that stat. Okay. You know, but it's still easy to surrender runs via fielding errors, you know what I'm saying, hits errors, you know, misplaying a ball or whatever. You know, a single turn into at least a double, possibly a triple. Situations like that, you know, that also puts runners in scoring position and leads to run production. All right. So in all facets of the game, as you put it on the scale, Cards more than fell short. You know. And taking the second loss now. Once again, the question I raised coming into the College World Series, you know. If and when can Dan McDonald lead this baseball team to the eventual promised land? Okay. I'm not talking about having another great season or securing a conference championship, then qualifying rounds, just to play into the Super Regional, and then to win the Super Regional, to actually make the bracket, to make the road trip to Omaha, and going through all that, you know what I'm saying, and not being able to hoist that trophy. See, you know, I'm not sitting here blasting Coach McDonald. I'm pointing out the facts I expressed before this tournament began, and expressing how those same facts matter with the end result of the Cards, you know what I'm saying, falling in this double elimination game, and in such an embarrassing fucking way. 11-3. Shit, that's paltry. All right, that's not just losing. That's a lack of effort, you know what I'm saying, and just getting your ass whooped, even if that team is a superior talent. But as your kids say, it's levels to this shit. So when is Coach McDonald going to have the team okay, and all the intangibles, you know what I'm saying, to make that championship run. You know, that's the first question, you know, and anybody you want to blast me about or not, just like anything else, me or my man 6ix9ine. But whoever else pulls up want to discuss, what you want to do? You want to be mad about what I said or how I said it? Either way it go, gives no fucks. These are the facts. Another failed run at the College Baseball World Series when it comes to the U of L men's baseball team. Who's been at the helm this whole time? Coach Dan McDonald. And when you're the highest paid coach in men's college baseball, it's 3 years into the extension they granted you back in 2022. Who the fuck is any of you cocksuckers railing on me about me having expectations now? As a fan of the sport and as a fan of the program, that is a fair question for me to ask, whether you motherfuckers like it or not. You know, it's tiresome, it's frustrating, and it's just another failed attempt when you talk about not just the baseball team, but what a championship does to heighten the profile of that university as a whole. Like I said, in major sports, they ain't been a championship hosted by the University of Louisville since the men's basketball team 2013. And I'm frustrated as fuck, and I'm fucking sick of it. I feel a lot of people in Cards Nation are sick of it. Yet half y'all ain't got the balls to say it because y'all too worried about y'all likes and views in the fucking fan groups. That's why I don't fuck with a lot of y'all all the time. Plus, a lot of you motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, you want to talk about Star Wars reference, y'all scared of the dark side of the Force. Okay, and like I tell motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, when you really watch the trilogy for real, okay, Jedi were liars, all right? Self-righteous hypocrisy of the Jedi Order, you know what I'm saying, had to be contained. The Sith were right. Deal with it. And so in that capacity, I will embrace my dark side of the Force and vent my frustration for another failed run as far as the University of Louisville men's college baseball team actually making it to the College World Series with the highest paid coach in men's college baseball. Y'all be mad at me to pose the question. Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? For real. So been a lovely couple of days, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm just back to work, back to life. You know, I have enjoyed the joy, peace, tranquility. You know what I'm saying? As far as the first 2 days being with my wife is, you know. Yeah, we both knew. You know what I'm saying? A little temporary bliss. Not as far as our relationship, just being able to get away from a lot of shit for a little bit. You know, so when I think about getting back to life, not just getting back to work, getting back to who I am and what I really do. And part of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Even though I got to keep flying these solo missions, thank you, Aunt. Still doing what I can, you know what I'm saying? It comes keeping this out of bounds live shit pumping. I'm like, mind y'all, young cats, my OGs, whatever, man, y'all gotta start pulling up, giving me a hand on some of this conversation, okay? For real. So, but as part of getting back to life, and getting back to the grind, you know what I'm saying? You know, cool brother works the first shift, and he's usually there for a couple hours. I'm a closer, but we see each other and talk, you know what I'm saying? Bright brother, cool. So, as soon as he seen me, he just smiled and got quiet. And I just looked at him and smiled right back. I'm like, you don't have nothing to discuss about Monday night? How was your Monday night? No, I don't have much to say about it right now. Are you sure? Because everything you had to say leading up to Monday night, you know what I'm saying, as I get into my synopsis of Game 5, when it comes to OKC and the Pacers, and what I feel at least going into tomorrow night's potential closeout game as far as Game 6. Now, I don't have much to say right now. Fine. He knew, and of course I knew why he didn't have much to say to me about OKC in the end of Game 5. It's too soon. This is the first time seeing it. You know what I'm saying? That happened Monday. Okay. I was still off yesterday. He had a day, I guess, to get geared up for third or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And all his preparation, he still knew when I got there, he was not ready to deal with it. I told him, just like I told a lot of you motherfuckers, not just be Atlanta bounce line, anybody I've had a personal conversation with. Let's review real quick. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. How many times I got to remind y'all for the NBA postseason, and the deeper the round, the more vital this is. It gets no more vital than the NBA Finals. It has been 2-2. Neither team had won 2 games in a row. More times than not in that situation, the first team to win 2 games in a row is going to win that series. It was a lot easier to see, like 80s, 90s playoff basketball, because, you know, different rounds of the playoffs, just, you know, pick your teams, rivals, whatever. There were situations where, particularly the home team, they would take a 2-0 lead off time. It was a little more rare for the road team to get a split. You know, you flash forward to now, it's more easier because what they call positionless basketball per se got a lot to do with it. You know, other rules the league implemented back in the early 2000s and stuff. You know, style of play has changed, player personnel changed, coaching philosophy has changed. You know, I get all that. And I'm cool with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line, SGA is going to be SGA. Not really surprised by his numbers. Let's discuss Jalen Williams. For me, real quick, another point of emphasis for a successful NBA postseason basketball. Everybody knows what the one is going to get on average. Okay. Your one, each round of postseason you advance, they're going to win you a game or 2. Rosters, team, that's the win you series. We got a crazy ass 2. I mean, dope anyway after coming off his first All-Star appearance. I'm sorry, excuse me. Jalen Williams with the 40 piece, man. Ooh, I bet none of you niggas had that in y'all parlay. Fuck out of here. Lying bum ass motherfucker. Point of the matter is, the 40 piece, in a critical game 5 at home, knowing you were the home team, and yet you were down. Okay? Now you've been able to tie this thing back up. Both those teams going into game 5 have the first opportunity to win 2 games in a row. And OKC did it. My brother finally decided to holler at me. First thing out of his mouth. OKC got lucky. How did they get lucky and it was a double-digit win? Well, they would have won if Halliburton got hurt. There's no way we could have been watching the same game, bro. I was waiting on that trap. You know what I'm saying? For real. I was waiting on that trap. So fucking obvious. Halliburton was not honestly having the best game before his injury. You know, particularly going in the third quarter. It was a critical stretch where I believe he had to cut it, 4 to 6, somewhere around that range, and then scored Jalen Williams. A couple turnovers led to speedy transition opportunities. SGA on step back mid-range. Now, his mid-range game is serious. And I've been saying it for years, particularly after the Clippers traded him to OKC. But for having pieces like Jalen Williams, you know, to have that monster of a night. He actually took pressure off SGA, which down the stretch still let SGA get more damage done. You know, this thing with Holmgren and these lack of buckets from him is still driving me batshit. I don't get it. Holmgren get 12, 15 points. Shit, they at least 2K him. You know, it's a dub. Pacers are in the pickle due to Halliburton's injury. There's no getting around that. You know, we talk about the severity of this calf strain. Now, we all know he's going to release a statement saying he's going to do everything he can to play. Particularly we talking about trying to avoid getting closed out. You don't want to see them win the chip on your court. You know, and I believe he's going to do whatever he can to get it done. Get it? To play devil's advocate, to increase the chance of really winning that game, okay? Because if he's not 80% or better, man, the difference between being hurt and injured, okay? If you really can't go, you're more of a detriment to that team. And in that regard, they got no choice. There's got to be more TJ McConnell. There has to be, minutes-wise. Particularly talking about ball handling, taking some of that pressure off Halliburton. He can't get that push. He can't get that drive when he wants to attack. He can't get that push on his jumper. It's obvious. The MRI was pretty much negative. Get that calf strain because, you know, try to go too hard with the wrong move, and that calf strain turns into something else. You know, and I if he can go, even if he can go, I still say minutes-wise, you got to give more TJ McConnell. Okay. And offensively, it's just so easy of a game plan for me as far as trying to give Indiana a chance to win this thing and stay off elimination. To force a Game 7 Sunday, run everything through Seattle. And you're half-court sets. You know what I'm saying? If you can't push, you got to bring it out. You run everything through him. Everything. As far as offensively. And increasing Indiana's chance to try to win this thing tomorrow with a banged-up Halliburton. Okay? You got to give McCollum more minutes off top. Yet, run your stuff through Pascal Siakam. Just do it. You know, more times than not, particularly in that mid post, you know, he's got a mismatch on. He just does. You know, and I know it makes sense to be like, well, with a hurt Halliburton, they're going to send as far as another body shady on a double team towards Siakam. Okay, yeah. I trust a guy like him. I trust a guy like him that's been on a championship team, especially when you're talking about a young team like Indiana, and they got better championship experience. And can't nobody tell me, you know what I'm saying, any given moment, Pascal Siakam can't drop a 30-piece on a motherfucker. Fuck out of here, bum-ass niggas. See, that's why a lot of you niggas probably lost a motherfucker a lot of money as far as the player props on a whole lot of games. See, you know about Indiana, so y'all wasn't fucking with Indiana, you know, and really been people Pascal Siakam, you know, y'all probably could have made a little money off him on player property too, all right? I think a lot of y'all cats came to the party late, just like a lot of NBA fans before they ended up coming this thing, you know. But, and of course, cut down the turnovers in the end. I mean, like, fuck's sake. All you niggas, what are y'all trying to do? All y'all trying to earn an apprenticeship here in Louisville, home of Charles Heitman's Bakery, all right? You come down here and make all the fucking turnovers you want, all right? Stop that shit. Just stop doing it, okay? Be strong with the ball. Make good decisions, okay? Get guys moving. Force OKC's defense to have to work when y'all got to be in y'all half-court set. Be tough to run. It's like be tough to do some other stuff that y'all accustomed to do offensively with a banged-up Tyrese Halliburton. That's just the reality of it. It's not hate. It's just the facts. You know, yet I expect, for real, I really do. Okay. I expect OKC to close this thing out. Because to me, Monday, not only do they play better, obviously, of course, execute, whatever, and all that, but a lot of intangibles that I've been railing on OKC about this series. Okay? Being a little more physical, right? Winning some of those offensive rebound battles, so 50-50 loose balls, okay? Being a menace on defense and letting defense create opportunities for your offense when it does get a little stagnant, But Jalen Williams at the 40 piece on you niggas. Defensively, maybe something that could help Indiana spurts. Maybe mix in a little zone. Maybe, I'm not the biggest fan of zone overall, particularly when they started letting them play zone in the NBA. Like, lazy niggas already wasn't playing defense, but all right, whatever. But sprinkling in, all right, to try to, at least keep the ball in front of you. Okay. You already know SGA is a problem. It's not that they didn't know Jalen Williams wasn't a problem. It's just now he's a bigger problem. I wish Holmgren would start initiating his offense a little bit more in that mid post, into that low post, instead of just constantly selling out and just rolling out to the three. Just to get some buckets, just to get a couple of touches and get a feel, okay? And because I think they're going to still need, that third 15 to 20 point score. And I just don't understand. I think about what OKC did in the early part of the season when Holmgren was out. And since he's been back, I'm not saying he's played bad, but I just feel he's too talented still. When I think about his offensive skill set, he ain't big. He's 7 feet, so you can put the ball on the court, you got a nice touch, a spot up three. He's not a marksman yet, but man, buckets. Either way it goes, I expect OKC to close this thing out and make a lot of people in Indianapolis mad as fuck. Because whether I'm a fan of that team or not, when it comes to the NBA Finals, I am a sucker for the winning team closing the series out on the road. I love that shit. Love it. It's that. You gotta sit there and watch the opposing team just celebrate, in your backyard. Because the team of those fans didn't get it done. That's a warm and fuzzy feeling for me personally. You know what I'm saying? For real. And speaking of NBA, we talking about going into Game 6. Well, it ain't midnight yet, so still technically tomorrow night. Like I stated earlier, I predict OKC to close this motherfucker out. Of course, something like this, as far as NBA news, yes, this even going to dominate the NBA Finals itself. And I got to really try to walk a fine line here. Try not to break one of my all-time favorite mantras in life. Wherever I go, what I'm doing to not personalize business. Because if you're a casual NBA fan, unless you've been on a rock last, I don't know, let's say 9-10 hours, y'all should be well aware. My beloved Los Angeles Lakers, alright, just basically finalized the paperwork and bullshit in the league and their jack off. Somebody got to shoot their load on a contract and they sign it in that. I don't know, swapping in blood. I don't fucking know. The point of the matter is, once all the legal mumbo jumbo bullshit is over with, my Los Angeles Lakers, the NBA team I have loved dearly since 1980. Magic's rookie year. For $10 billion to Los Angeles Dodgers owner Mark Walters. When I first seen the report, the name of the buyer didn't ring my bell. I'm like, I forgot about the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these corporate sports networks that my man Ant 6ix9ine and myself, your friendly neighborhood harbinger in Bell, and the nigga that got kicked into the transfer portal, you know what I'm saying? The real KD. Been railing to you motherfucking dumbass niggas and whatever racial demographic you fall under, you know, street monster or whatever. Okay? At the end of the day, quit kowtowing to that bullshit. Okay? It's all good. Nothing's going to change. You know, Jeannie Buss is going to remain basically the head of the family and shit and fuck. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I think back to the year before, 1979, Dr. Jerry Buss originally bought the Lakers. It's like 65, 67, tipping around $70 million. You know, crazy money back then. You know, the Lakers as an organization, sports franchise, is a brand, you know, it's a way of life. When we talk about the financial logistics of it, at the end of the day, this is a $1.2, $1.4 billion franchise worth. These guys like, I give you 10 for it. Sold. Feel me? You know, call me conspiracy theorist, jaded, moron, jackass, I don't give a fuck. I love the Lakers, and I know what that organization has meant forever, not just in the NBA, but when you talk about major sports brands and all, you're talking worldwide. Okay. Early venturing as far as international expansion in the NBA, you know, as far as selling the game to them was selling players they knew and been watching and brands. And you're basically talking those cocksucking ass Beantown motherfuckers, Boston, and my beloved Lakers. These are literally the two pillars, the two franchises that built the NBA. Okay? 35 championships between those two franchises. The Boston's last year, because they've been tied for a few years. Boston last year, they got 18. Lakers down 1 for 17. $10 billion. Los Angeles Dodgers on it. Park Boston. Just throw it in my Lakers. Sports are not, me personally, I'm always nervous when new owners come in. I'm never excited like, no, I don't know about this shit, man. I'm not quite sure, you know. My antennas are kind of up a little bit. My spidey sense is going. Feel me? Not cool with it yet. I gotta deal with the new ownership group as an employee. Fine. Cool with that. And I'm just not so sure about this, you know, they talk about don't worry about a sudden shift. You know. And I'm looking at going to this season. You know, LeBron on the second year of a two-year, $120 million extension. Eat up $60 million with the cap. You know, I think about guys with like Gabe Davis, you know, 3 years, plus 40 mil. I know last 2 seasons I've been railing about that Jared Vanderbilt extension, 4 year, you know, 48 mil. And I'm pretty sure, just don't get me wrong, this is an owner that spent a lot of money as far as the Dodgers. They talk about recent success they've been on, particularly last 7, 8, 10 years, okay? Whether you're a baseball fan or not, even that point, being a baseball fan is irrelevant to the point I'm making. The point I'm making is, once I did my homework, it's like, oh, that guy, cool, I get it. On top, financially, one of the things that's going to change, they say it's not going to change when it comes to him acquiring the Lakers organization, it's payroll, player payroll specifically. Okay? It's a whole lot of motherfuckers, players, coaches, trainers, I don't give a fuck. Y'all been eating good for years, and yet outside the 2020 shift as far as the bubble. Once again, referencing Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? The Laker brand sales, yet the team has failed to produce championships since. That's the fucking bottom line as far as on-court success. That leads to everything else. You know, and it just brings and adds more mystique to the brand that has already been established, you know what I'm saying, eons ago. It's the fucking Los Angeles Lakers we talking about, you bum-ass niggas. You don't think this guy's gonna start coming in trimming some fat? Hey, I got as a fan, $60 million worth of cap going to LeBron's salary next year. Lakers have no salary cap. And keep telling y'all. I'm still waiting for somebody to bring me numbers that show different. I keep calling you niggas on the cap. There's a lot of you niggas on the cap, particularly when it comes to the sports chat shit. My Lakers don't have a first round pick at all until 2030. You trade AD. You got LeBron for another $60 million next year. Trade for Luka. You gotta re-sign Luka. You can't have just made a trade for Luka knowing you're not gonna sign him for anywhere from 4 or 5 years extension. The money that's gonna cost. Not saying Mark Walters ain't gonna throw it at him. You know, but even with that, in other areas, player roster and otherwise, some fat guy get trimmed. That's shit I'm talking about. And I'm simply pointing out, if and when it happens, I personally won't be surprised. I've seen this too many fucking times before. Name your sports franchise and shifts when the new owner comes in. Okay? Most new owners don't come in and let things be the same. You know, Jeannie Buss gets to keep her title. I don't know. A part of me feels that her dad, Dr. Jerry Buss, who passed 2014, is probably throwing a shit bit in his grave. Lord knows and pray, I hope I'm wrong. If there's ever a case where I ever really want to be wrong in life, it's that. To the Laker fan, that's how much this shit means to me. And I have no problem broadcasting and voicing my level of apprehensiveness. This is not a shade to the new acquired owner, Mark. It's not. It's business. I get it. I got $10 million to buy like one of the most storied franchises in all of sports, a global brand. I mean, if I had $10 million, like I wouldn't buy like my favorite NBA team. I get it. I love business. I love money. Fuck out of here. Capitalism. It fucking rules, even though it sucks. But I'm just not sure about this lack of shifting things and how things are done as far as the Laker organization, the brand. You know, I'm gonna be nice for now. You know, see how it plays out. You know, how things go, particularly in this upcoming season under new ownership. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. Nah, man, just chilling, trying to hold it down. Who's that? Hey, baby. I just now seen, you know, when I be railing, it's hard for me to look at these comments. Is that my nigga Deal? Is that Deal? Pulling up, you fucking with me? Well, I ain't gonna do it with your permission. If you want cam up, you know, that's the thing with us, you know what I'm saying? We don't do it blatantly. Like, if you really don't want cam up, we ain't gonna just do it. But if you say something to the invite want to, you know, cool. But I'm probably about to wrap this motherfucker up in a minute anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, whew, this is a big shock to me as a Lakers fan. It is. I know I ain't alone. When you're a Lakers fan, not, you know, motherfuckers understand. Anyone who's aware of this acquisition can at least understand the significance of it. This shit major. We got the NBA Finals going on, and the Lakers dominating the NBA. It's fucking ridiculous. You know, wrap this motherfucker up real quick, you know, because, you know, from time to time, you know, like then when I call my partner shot, bam, bam, bam. So, I can't remember who it was. Oh, so one of the older front of the house heard me say, because some rat motherfucker might see this and get it to us, so I ain't gonna say her name. Point of the matter is, she's like, so how's Mary like? I'm like, is Angie the same as life before we got married? Don't things change? No. Then I explained to her why. You know, too much of what we know and love about each other had been established way before the separation, the back and forth, did that. I mean, shit. That phone call last year where I was still trapped in that rural shithole Frankfurt. about a month or two before I hit it back. Not get away from me this time. All right, mom. Cool. You know what I'm saying? So, from that view, ain't shit changed. Ain't nothing changed between Monday and right here, right now. I get people have apprehension about change as a whole. I get it, because us as the human species, we are habit-based creatures. My thing with that is, it plays too hard and limiting your experiences in life. Whether it's, switching up the type of people you date, or the type of job/career you have, or, changing your residence. Going from not a pet owner to being a pet owner. I'm simply saying, change is not bad. Change in itself is not bad. Nancy can't pick me up Monday. I just got off on my ace, what I'm saying? A numero uno. Alright. Don Dada, you feel me? Greenmo. Godfather, man, JD. And he asked me, like, so are you nervous? It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, right? Like, tell me you're fucking joking. Tell me you're fucking with me. No, I'm serious. Are you nervous? What the fuck I need to be nervous for? I mean, we're getting married. I'd be nervous about, I don't know, 4-count indictment. That makes me nervous. We're getting married. Next thing out of his mouth, which I love, is a typical JD. Or even the best get nervous. I never said I was the best. I simply say I'm not them. I'm still me. He's like, well, all right. Yeah. So about 15, 20 minutes later, Nancy pulled up, and when I told the story of the conversation, she's like, well, baby, he was thinking, I don't give a fuck what he's thinking. That's my guy. He asked me if I was nervous. I told him no. It's like he didn't believe me. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding. This is what we're doing? Love you to death, bro. I get it. It tickled me pink. It's like, oh, you really don't think I'm nervous? No, I ain't nervous. My point is, I have reason to be apprehensive about this change in ownership as far as my life. And a little bit, it parlays into real life. I get that. Yet, like I was explaining to this lady at work, as far as me and Angie actually being married, what's going to change? Maybe some things get better. Maybe some things become prosperous. Maybe some things improve. And then, saying when the times do get bad, and being steadfast and still being there for each other. A lot of these motherfuckers in life, man, both gets rocked a little bit. Y'all can quick the bell. The shit ain't convenient. it's not going your way, you don't put no work in to, correct the error of your ways and move forward. Then leave that bullshit behind. Y'all like to just swim and wallow in that shit. That's how you earn the pity and sympathy. And not just from the people you know what I'm saying? Not life having ass motherfuckers who love to whine on the internet about it. I love you motherfuckers. That shit entertains the fuck out of me. So no, not much is really gonna change as far as Anthony and myself. And even if and when things do quote unquote change, like everybody says, things change when you get married. I never really bought into that. And then on top of my partner was never a fan of marriage, When that person's the one, it's the one. Now whether y'all trying to marry or not, that's on y'all. I don't judge. Alright. We knew it was the time. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to be that old sorry ass motherfucker in the club still, you know what I'm saying? But even if you are, you ain't got a man on you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just looking kind of lame and shit. And I don't even go out like that. She never goes out at all, so, what the fuck? But, yeah, my point is, quit having such a knee-jerk reaction to change in life. Quit whining the bitch and how this is not suiting your convenience and this is not what you need right now. I don't need this bullshit right now. Well, it's here now. So deal with it. Dr. Phil that shit. Read Bridget Jones' diary, get a pint of ice cream. Have some guy eat a jalapeno, a ghost pepper out of your ass. Whatever you gotta do, bitch. Okay, the coast. Fuck out of here. And quit acting like a lot of stuff that y'all go, I ain't gotta deal with this bullshit. Well, a lot of y'all say, I ain't gotta deal with this bullshit day in, day out. No, it's not bullshit. It's think all life. Oh my God, you gotta pay your rent. Oh my God, you gotta work to pay your bill. Oh my God, you have responsibilities and duties. The horror of it. I feel like I ain't getting enough done. And times I'm frustrated and all my little rail about it, because it ain't the first time she's heard it. That's something just like anything else, you know what I'm saying, being that soft spot in the land. You know what I'm saying, until I bounce back, get my sister straight, it's like, all right, boom. That wallowing, that pity, that sympathy fucking bullshit, they male, female, I don't give a fuck, racial demographic, geopolitical affiliation, you know what I'm saying, your sexual orientation, your religious backdrop, okay, just a lot of beta pussy ass shit, male or female. It's not a gender issue, it's a people issue. The human species, particularly here in America, okay, we are a bunch of y'all, not me. I live in America. I'm just not one of these assholes. I live in y'all feeling so much about some of the most insignificant bullshit. You chasing me out. Do an 8-ball, some Peruvian plate, have a threesome with 2 midgets. I don't give a fuck what you gotta do to deal with it, but at some point, not only deal with it, you know what I'm saying, find a way to move forward from that shit. A lot of y'all too pussy to do that shit. Y'all just love that attention. Y'all love that poor me, woe is me ass shit. You love it. So anyway, meantime, between time, it's your man Chris. AK Apocalypse. Sign off, motherfuckers, and probably give you one more thing to be mad at me about. I'm cool with that. All right, y'all, one.